We know Coke,
Yeah.
Pepsi, Nestle, Amazon, Walmart, Target. They all know who we are. And so it's a matter of time before like a Pepsi copies us. And when they copy us, we're going to throw the biggest party ever.
FreeWater is a company determined to help both people and the planet through a free water product. They sell free water in paper cartons and aluminum cans to help save the environment. And FreeWater founder Josh Cliffords is joining the podcast today. Josh, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Just first thing for any of our audience that doesn't really know what free water is or has heard of it, how would you describe free water and the company's mission?
Um, Free Water is the world's first free beverage company. So we give it away to consumers. We sell it to the advertisers. It's free because the packaging is ad space. It's a new type of media and e-commerce platform. You could connect anything to the packaging with QR codes, including augmented reality. And we also donate 10 cents per water to build water wells for people in need. So it's free and it donates to charity.
Yeah. And those water wells or those wells that are being built with charities, what sort of charities are you involved with? Where are these wells being built? Everything like that.
So to date, we've donated all of the money to WellAware. It's an Austin-based women's-led nonprofit. They build water wells predominantly in Kenya. The reason why we've chosen them is they're one of the few nonprofits that builds water wells that has 100% guarantee and lifetime guarantee on their work. So
Mhm.
$1 billion was basically wasted building water wells in Africa just in the last 5 or 10 years with wells that break within the first 90, 180 days. So we wanted to make sure any well that we built was operating for life.
Mhm. And I'm just curious, have you gotten the chance to, like, go out and see any of these, or have you stayed mostly over here without seeing
Not
them?
yet. But next year will be a very big year for us, and we're aiming to build a lot of projects. And I'm hoping to be able to go and visit them next year or the following year.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that all your products, it's cartons and aluminum cans, not plastic. What was the motivation behind, using these sort of materials rather than plastic?
We didn't want to make water free and do it in a plastic bottle. We use the aluminum bottles and paper cartons because they represent the greenest packaging that we had available to date, but also with the shortest lead time. There was some other compelling package options, but not so much because when you say, well, how long does it take to get the empty container? They're
Yeah.
like 1 year or 2 years. And no advertiser is going to want to wait 2.5 years to get a bottle of water
Yeah.
ad out. And so
Yeah.
big picture, we want to make the world's first 100% hemp packaging. So the same type of container, just all hemp instead of paper and plastic.
That's awesome. And do you have any sort of timeline on when that might happen, or is it just like a goal you want for the future?
Really, mainly just a goal at this point because we've got so many things that we're doing right now ahead of us, and it would be a very costly endeavor, probably 10 million just to create that package because there's a lot of R&D that goes into making a new type of packaging, such as nearly every beverage container in the US has a 2-year shelf life. So it's not just designing it, you would have to test them for years and make
Yeah.
sure that it's safe and compatible. And right now we're really just expanding extremely rapidly. And for us, the next step was our first free vending machine prototype that we're going to
Mhm.
have operational next year, early next year. And so that's going to take a lot of energy from us.
Yeah. So these vending machines, how are they going to work? Where are they going to be placed? Give us a little more about that project.
So the first one that we've ordered is like the Tesla or Lamborghini of vending machines. It's almost a $30,000 piece of equipment. And so
Wow.
imagine a vending machine that's a giant iPhone, essentially.
Yeah.
And This first one will probably be in the office that we work at. We work at like a WeWork style place. There's a few people that have asked to put it there. This first one has to be in a very just accessible and safe and sheltered place. Just because if somebody hit it with a skateboard in these early days, we don't have enough money to go buy dozens of these things,
Yeah.
and so it'll be in a safe place where our software developers could keep tinkering with it and keep working on the mobile app, but we could also bring people to use it, experiment with it, investors, the media, all that stuff. Once we get uh, confident with the system and we get the bugs out of the software, then we'll start scaling them in different places in the lower 48 states.
Mhm. Are you a music artist trying to find a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible? Then check out DistroKid. DistroKid is a super user-friendly and super easy-to-use service that will make your music available in stores like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Snapchat, everything. Everything you could imagine, it's available. People will even be able to add your songs into their Instagram stories. DistroKid helps you with the distribution, monetization, and promotion of all of your music. Use the link in the description of this video for 7% off any DistroKid package you want. Pick from musician packages designed to help artists get their own music out there, or even get a label package where you can manage up to 100 artists from one profile. So that's more for like managers, labels, and you can also get the musician package that I mentioned earlier, which is more for artists, producers, things like that. And super easy, and you can get 7% off any package right now with the link in the description of this video. So once again, if you're looking for a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible, I'm talking any platform you can think of, get DistroKid and get 7% off right now with the link in the description. Back to the program. You mentioned all the packaging on these bottles or cartons. They're advertisers, their ad space. How do you go about finding advertisers? How have you found that most advertisers discover your platform and get their ads printed on bottles?
In these early days, most of them find us through social media. I would say the vast majority of them find us through TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. Um, we just added our first full-time salespeople to the company, and next step is, some of these people are basically focusing on the inbound leads that come, like people that find our website and come visit us. But then we're going to start going outbound to contact people who don't know about us and make sales that way too.
Mhm. And so it seems like a lot of your growth has been coming from social media. How are you as a company utilizing social media? What do you find are like your biggest platforms to sort of grow your business?
TikTok's been wonderful. I run the TikTok account. I post on it as often as I can. Sometimes that means just one video in a day. Sometimes it means 10 or 20 videos in a day. It
Mhm.
really just depends. Then we like to take the videos that were most successful on TikTok. We'll download them without the watermark, and then we'll repost those on Instagram or YouTube Shorts.
Mhm. And you know, I was trying to research a bit about free water about your website. So, you know, you on your website, I think there's like a space where advertisers, if they want to get printed on bottles, can sort of submit their company or like whatever they want to promote and get it on there. Um, how like if when advertisers do that, do you have any way of like knowing how they typically find out about you? Is it just sort of assuming that a lot are coming from these social platforms, something like that?
To date, I mean, if you heard about us, 90% of the people or more heard about us through social media, or someone learned about it on social media and they told their friend.
Yeah.
And then a small percentage of people will read about us in like a newspaper or magazine, something like that, or they just Google it. Like some people were just interested in advertising on water, had no idea we existed, and then found us on Google.
Yeah.
So yeah, The questions on the base of the advertiser page or distributor page does help to narrow it out a little bit.
Yeah. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Dubby Energy. Dubby Energy is an energy drink you mix at home from a tub. It helps you focus, it helps you concentrate, it helps you win. Dubby is a lot like these other energy drink mix companies you see, but it's better. They have better flavors, they have better taste, they have better products. You can get Dragonade, you can get Galaxy Grenade, you can get Dub Sludge, and so many more great flavors like Beach and Peach. Once you have the powder to make one of these flavors, you can also get one of W's own shaker cups to make your drinks at home. If energy drinks aren't your thing, no worries. You can get products like stickers and clothing that look awesome. If you just want to try out Dubby, you can go ahead and get one of their starter packs. It comes with a shaker cup and 3 flavors. On top of that, any products you get on any order from Dubby, you can save 10% by using my discount code Heroek. That's just my name, Heroek, in all caps. One more time, that's code Heroek at dubby.gg for 10% off any order. Go focus, go concentrate, go in, be better. Dubby. From like form being submitted to that ad being printed on a bottle, what does that process look like? Are there sort of like levels of, like making sure the ad's okay, seeing if it'll fit well and look good on a bottle?
So today, the way it works is someone fills out the form, and then we get back to them as soon as humanly possible. Just 3 weeks ago, it might have taken us 10 days to get back to you because we were so busy. But now
Yeah.
with full-time salespeople involved, we could get back to you usually in a day or two. Um, and then kind of see what they had in mind if it wasn't fully written out in the form. Simply, because the water is different to everybody. Some people are like, "Oh, I want this for my wedding," or "Oh, I want this for my business," or "I want this for my nonprofit," or "I want this for educational purposes." And so you got to kind of see what they had in mind. Other people just want more information because you literally can print or do anything with it. So they just want to hear that. You know, uh,
Mhm.
some people, I mean, we tell them, you could connect anything on the internet with a QR code, but then they're like, is it anything? Can I connect a YouTube video? It's like, yes. Can I connect a video game? Yes. Can I connect?
Yeah.
So just kind of walking them through it step by step.
Yeah. And so, earlier you were sort of talking about all these like, I guess, investments the company is doing, 33,000 vending machine, like millions of dollars of hemp containers. If, your business is just giving the product for free, where is this money coming from to have all these expenses?
Advertising,
Mm.
advertising. But we also, we have raised some money through outside investment to date. To date, we've raised $275,000 from investors in the past 14 months or so, 13 months. And so that helped us to buy our free water truck. It's like a giant Amazon truck with a big free water design on it, and some of the fixed costs that we needed to purchase.
Yeah. And all the containers of free water are BPA free. Can you give us a little explanation or insight into why that fact is so important and such a big selling point for the company?
We wanna typically the most expensive products or, the most socially conscious products or organic products, uh, whatever that is, typically they cost a lot more money, and we wanna make sure that the highest quality products are available to everybody for free. And so, yeah, so we give away free water right now to people in the United States, but through that donation to charity that every bottle makes, we're helping the some of the poorest people in the world across the world. And so I designed it because well, listen, the average American drinks 3 to 6 bottles of water per day. That costs a lot of money, and all we wanna do is give 10% of Americans free water, so save 10% of Americans free, save them money every year,
Yeah.
and we're donating billions of dollars to charity. So, I didn't create free water as a way to give Americans anything, Like, that's not the priority here. My priority is helping the poorest people. I just happen to kind of create a glitch in the matrix that, okay, if it's free, it's going to be a quick transaction. People like free stuff. People like high quality free stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
it'll fly out of our hands and donate quickly to the people who need it most. So here we are.
Mhm. Yeah. And, as of, like, just back in April, FreeWater had a $10 million valuation. How, like, using all these innovative tactics, how are you gonna grow that valuation higher and higher? How do you expect FreeWater to grow from here?
Well, in startups and in technology, typically people are just incrementally better, just slightly better. And if you find success and you're just slightly better, the world's biggest companies will just copy you and gobble you up. But with free water, we aim to make it 100 times better. And so it's not really that easy for the world's biggest companies to do what we do today, let alone what we're going to be doing in the future. So
Yeah.
as we keep pushing more products out, as we make more sales, as we build more water wells, as we build more tech on this, um, and build out this future infrastructure, which free water and other free groceries will be distributed on, it'll take care of itself.
Yeah. And so for right now, how are you distributing free water? How is it getting to consumers?
So in these early days, we have two business models. We have B2B, which means we ship large quantities to advertisers who want to distribute, and they could be anywhere in the lower 48 states. Um, then we have direct to the consumer, which is what many people see on TikTok, and that's just in Austin, a little bit in New York City, and a couple of satellite locations to date. What people see on TikTok isn't scalable, which is why the next step is to get free vending machines out and also to get distribution in local supermarkets too.
Mhm. And so, I guess from here, what's next for free water? We mentioned the vending machines and the hemp containers. Is there anything beyond that, or are those sort of the two main goals that you're focused on achieving right now?
Vending machine is short term. And then there'll be many iterations or like different versions of the vending machines. Hemp packaging will take a long time and it will take some serious side investment. So the next steps for us are actually a lot of internal steps. Just a year ago, it was just my wife and I, and now there's 14 people in the company. There's about to be 17. Things are growing really quickly. Internally, we're making a bunch of simple mistakes simply because we didn't have the right infrastructure laid out to grow a workforce so quickly. I'll give you an example. Like the other day, we shipped water to Chicago, and then the person ordered the wrong kind of shipping truck. So when it got there, it had to turn around, switch trucks. So we had to pay for shipping twice, essentially. These are simple
Yeah.
mistakes that shouldn't be made. We're making a bunch of them just because we're growing so quickly. So we're in the process of making a company manual and other just groundworks and infrastructures so that way we could grow the company from now 14 people to 50 and beyond. And so that's really um, a startup or whenever you invent something new, it's almost like building a pyramid. And I'd say the first layer, the biggest one, is the idea. Then it's finding product market fit, like finding your idea's place in the universe, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, then it's getting a little bit of traction, like proving it, building the team, so on and so forth. Then for us, the next step was legal. We added a lawyer to the team. Now we just need to have internal infrastructure. That way we could grow the company as fast as humanly possible. We've had roughly 1,000 or more people just reach out from the US and Canada alone that would want to help sell for us virtually as 1099 salespeople. We can't even get them going because we just need more sales manager help to manage the phenomenon. But now we're getting that in place too, but how to train up all those people very quickly. And so I'm gonna have to sit here and make countless videos to help train them up.
Yeah.
It's it's a lot of work just because when you're the first company to do something, it always takes more work. The people that copy you later, they'll slide right through.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I visualize it as imagine being lost in the jungle, or you kind of have a direction, but you're kind of chopping through the vines with like a big machete. Um, for the first people, you're cutting through the vines. The second people, they could just walk through the path that you've already carved out.
Yeah.
And so we're just working to cut through the jungle more efficiently and more A to B, which is a straight line. And that's I think the hardest thing to do with any startup, just to be efficient and smart and methodical. Keep staring at the compass to make sure it's going the way that you want to and go from there.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned these like being a startup, having these mistakes. Those a lot of times can be used as like learning opportunities, figuring
Mhm.
out where you can improve, and a lot of it seems to be internal infrastructure, as you've said. Would you recommend that as like a big thing to focus on for other startups or other companies just trying to get off the ground?
Um, eventually, but I think there's different phases of like a start. Okay, so number one, a lot of people call themselves a startup, but the true definition of a startup means you're designed to be a global company. And so there's a difference between a small business or something that's designed to be the next Uber. And so a true
Mhm.
startup is designed with the thinking in mind that you've got a
It's
path
going
to
to go
become
global.
global and you have ways that you believe can take you there. It's not a mystery yet. And so at first you just have to find your fit in this whole universe here, which is called product market fit. If you're selling something, what's the right price? What's the right this? What's the right that? And and then you just got to kind of baby step it. Depending on the nature of the startup, you might have to have more infrastructure. Some startups are all virtual, just like a website or app, so it doesn't take as much to get it going. But
Yeah.
for us, we're physical items and we're software, and so it kind of takes twice as much. And but yeah, I would just say keep every startup just has to keep pushing. Try to score points and move the project forward without spending any money. That would be the
Yeah.
best advice I could give because a lot of people spend a lot of money and then when it's gone, they didn't cover enough ground to keep it self-sustaining and then you're out of business.
Yeah. And you know, you are such a like unique, innovative company. Like you said, you're the first to do what you're doing. Do you think like there's still competition for free water, or do you think it's just a matter of growing the company and getting like more word of mouth per se, or like getting word around of the company?
Um, since our goal with free water is to end the global water crisis, so it's to build water wells for 800 million people around the world. I personally don't think we have any such competition because what is someone going to beat us at building 800 million
Someone's
water
gonna
wells?
out charity you.
Out charity us? And so that's when I invented this, it was the first time I had a company where I needed more ways to define success. In the past, what defined success for me was making money and I guess being happy while making money. With this one, we're trying to change the way that the world works and we're trying to help so many people. I gave myself two ways to win. Way number one, which I believe we've accomplished, are almost there. We want the world to compete with us at ending the global water crisis, and that's the goal. Is what if Amazon puts us out of business by opening a better free supermarket ultimately that donates more money to charity? We're happy. That was
Yeah,
that was the first step, how to get the biggest companies in the world to copy us. So we're actually working to get them to copy us because with their economies of scale, we could end the global water crisis and global famine that much faster. Way number two is, yeah, I recoup my investment and I become the CEO or at least a founder of the future free Amazon, or the free
Yeah,
supermarket. And so we're really excited. People from around the world are noticing us. We know the biggest companies in the world know who we are because many of them reach out to inquire. They have questions. So we know Coke,
yeah,
Pepsi, Nestle, Amazon, Walmart, Target. They all know who we are. And so it's a matter of time before like a Pepsi copies us. And when they copy us, we're gonna throw the biggest party ever because what are they copying us at? Who could help more people? Like that's
yeah,
it's really exciting.
yeah. And I mean, that's a great just result of your business, and I think a great note to end it on because those are all the questions I had for you today. Thank you so much for joining us online, whether it's you or Free Water itself. Where can people follow the mission of Free Water? Where can they track the progress, get an ad if they want, all of that?
Visit the website at freewater.io. Check out our TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, also freewater.io. If you want to reach out to me individually, you could reach out to me through LinkedIn. My name's Josh Cliffords.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on, and I'll leave a link to some of that down below.
No, thanks for having me. Really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you for coming on.